Hello, my name is Scotty McCoy, and I am back with another episode of Slasher Scotty, and I have on the phone Dee Wallace, and she played Cynthia Strode in Halloween 2007 and Donna Trenton in Cujo. Hi, Dee, how you doing?
I'm great, baby. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great.
Good.
Yes, though, the first question I got is nothing related to either movie, but it's how did you get your start into acting?
Oh my God, I was born.
It shows.
Seriously, I've been dancing and acting ever since I popped out. But I guess professionally, I taught a year of high school and wrote a letter to Hal Prince. And he flew me in to audition for a little night music to New York, and I stayed, and kind of the rest is history. I started doing a lot of commercials and got all my union cards, and stayed for 2 years, came out to LA, and just started booking right away.
Awesome. That's awesome. So now we'll go into the Halloween 2007 questions. So the first one would be, what was your audition like for Halloween 2007?
Actually, I did not audition for Halloween. Rob, Rob really follows a lot of the horror icons.
Right.
If I might be so bold as to include myself in that. And so we got the offer for it. They sent me the script. Of course, I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie's, so I really just wanted to work with him. Yeah. And it just kind of took on a life of its own, and we got to improv a lot, and it just, we just got a lot of great stuff. I adore working with the guy.
Awesome. So how was he as a director?
Oh, he's great.
Was he?
He knows exactly what he wants, but he gives you so much leeway to bring in your own ideas and what if we did this, and what if we, and improv, and that's when you really get a lot of magic on the screen, is when everybody participates in the creativity.
Exactly, and that's what makes a brilliant director, when they give you that leeway, because it makes your job as an actor even more fun.
So much easier.
Yep.
It's so much more fun.
Exactly. So what was it like working with Scout Taylor Compton?
Oh my gosh, well, Scott's like another daughter for me. We've become close friends. She's extremely talented young lady, and we just clicked. It was really like mother-daughter, but equal actors working together, having fun. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Hey, let's try this,
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Scouts.
Awesome. So what was your most memorable moment while filming Halloween 2007?
I have to tell you, I have two.
Okay.
One of them is the scene that we're sitting on the front steps, and all the Halloween kids are walking by, and it was 2 a.m. in the morning, and we were both deathly ill. We both had like 103 fever.
Oh, wow.
And we almost that whole thing is improvisation. And I was just using a lot of the stuff from my daughter. And what happened with my daughter on a lot of the Halloweens we shared. And my other is, and I like all the bagel stuff too, but the other was off camera, and I'm standing there with Rob, and we're waiting for the guys to light and everything, and I said, well, what was your favorite film this year? And he said, Little Miss Sunshine. And I looked at him and I went, oh, Rob, don't tell anybody. It will totally blow your cover.
Nice.
Yeah, he's just I just love him. I love working with him.
It's funny that he said that because when I was taking a humanities elective in college, one of the course I took was called the movies, and one of the movies they said we were gonna watch was Little Miss Sunshine. I'm like, oh, this is probably gonna be one of those corny flicks, and I was shocked that they showed it, but it was really good. It actually wasn't bad. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, it's a good movie.
So we know that you didn't really have much of a death scene in Halloween. Basically, it was like a neck snap. But like, how was it like filmed and prepped? Like, you know, all of like, I guess the blood going through the table. Like, did you do your own stunts, that type of stuff?
Well, it was interesting because I originally died going down the bookcase.
Oh, true.
And like 3 weeks later, the producers called and they said, well, we need you to come back again. I said, I've already died. They said, Rob wants to kill you better. So I went back and we crawled down the hallway. No, it was a stunt girl that went into the table, but it was me and Tyler, you know, and I kept saying, Tyler, go on, you can, you know, really put your arm around my neck because I can hold it, you know, I can put my hand. He's so gentle, you know, Tyler. And so he and I did all the neck breaking and all that stuff, but it was a stunt woman that went through the glass. They weren't quite, you know, comfortable with the fact of a lead actor who could get really hurt. That
is true, though. It's a good point. So, speaking of Tyler, how was he? What was it like working with him?
Oh, he's such a sweetheart. I mean, it's funny, for playing a killer, you want to take care of him. I mean, he's just gentle and sweet and gentle. That's Tyler Mane.
That's true. So, what was the best part about filming Halloween 2007, and what was the worst?
I don't think there was a worst other than being deathly ill while I was doing half of it. It was just a really fun time. I mean, you just have fun when you work with Rob.
Awesome.
And I loved the part, and I loved being able to, you know, be safe and going as far as I could go. Right.
And we know that, like, you were in a couple scenes in the movie. Like, you were in with Scout and I can't remember the actor who played your on-screen husband, his name off the top of my head. But you were with them in the kitchen scene, obviously, and then you had the porch scene, and then, of course, that leads into your death scene. But so how long were you on set filming?
You know, I think if you compressed all the days together, it was probably a week.
Really? Yeah. Not bad. So, I guess we'll transition into the Cujo-related questions. I loved Cujo.
Yeah, Cujo, I was there every day.
And Cujo...
Every day for 8 weeks.
That movie scared me, and it's funny, I have a funny story about that, because my Aunt Marianne, who passed away a couple years ago, my Aunt Candy has this dog, and he would always, like, bark and bark and bark at you. My Aunt Marianne, every time she would come over for the holidays or whatever, she'd be like, oh, here we go, there's Cujo going again.
Yeah, look, when I do the conventions, I can't tell you how many people I have walk up with Chihuahuas or these little tiny yapper dogs, and they go, hi, we named him Cujo.
That's hilarious.
It's kind of a part of our culture now, you know.
Right. And before I forget, actually, I wanted to mention that one of my good friends, who I actually just filmed my third interview with him for being an author as well, is Greg Gilbert. He interviewed you, and I think he met you as well.
Yeah,
so he said
that
hi.
That was a great interview.
Yeah, he said he wanted me to tell you he said hi.
Oh, and back at him. That was a great little interview.
Awesome. So what was it like? What was your audition like for Cujo?
Again, I did not audition for Cujo.
Nice.
I had just come right off of E.T.
Right.
And I had done The Howling for Dan Blatt, the producer. Mm-hmm. And so he just called and wanted to know if I would be interested in doing Cujo, and I read the script and I went, oh my God, what female actor wouldn't want to do this tour de force role?
Exactly.
And, I never looked at it as really a horror film. I looked at it as a film about how far a mother would go to save her child.
Exactly. And if you think about it, like, some people would classify Cujo as, like, I guess you could say, like, a villain type, killer type dog. But it wasn't his fault because he got bit by the bat. So, like, he got rabies. So, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really his fault.
It wasn't. But, a lot of the animal activists didn't quite see it that
way. So what was the best part about filming Cujo and what was the worst?
Well, the worst was the unrelenting emotional, it was the best and the worst, really.
Right.
Because I love to do it, but oh my God, it was just relentless. And it was also really cold.
Right.
Most people think we were dying of the heat, but it was very, very cold.
I remember reading that somewhere. It might have been on IMDb when I was doing some research into like some behind the scenes stuff and everything. I think it might have. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it, and they said it was really cold temperatures on set.
Yeah. But I loved, thank God I got Danny Pintaro to work with. Of course, I was working with my husband, Christopher Stone, and Daniel Hugh Kelly. I adored my producer. I loved Louis Teague. It was just the hardest thing I've ever done, and it's my favorite film that I'm proudest of.
Awesome. So how was Louis Teague as a director?
Oh, Louis is great. He actually had originally, Dan had talked to him in great length about directing this.
Right.
And then there were studio changes and stuff, and Peter Medic was brought in. But Peter didn't have the same vision as Dan or me.
Right.
And ultimately, 3 days into it, Dan made the call to bring on Louis Teague, and I think it was a really wise choice.
Right.
I mean, I love Peter Medic's work, but he had a whole different, really sexual idea of Cujo, which that's not the direction I wanted to go in.
I completely agree with that, and I'm glad that they have what they actually came out with, because that's what makes it the classic. Of course, no problem. So I'm going to actually throw in a bonus question quick. Did you read Stephen King's Cujo before you filmed it?
I did not, and I didn't on purpose.
That's good.
As an actor, I know that I can only work with the material that I have.
Right.
And I read it afterwards, especially because there was all the hoopla about whether we were going to kill the kid at the end of the movie, which is what he does in the book.
Right.
And when Dan Blatt came to me and said, "What do you think, Dee?" I said, I think you're crazy to ask people to live through 2 hours of what we're going to put them through and then kill the kid and not have any payoff. I don't think we can do that.
Exactly.
And he agreed, and Louis agreed. And then when the movie, when Stephen King saw, one of the first rough cuts, he said, "Thank God you didn't kill the kid. I never got more hate mail in my life."
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, everybody was happy.
I bet I was definitely happy with the final product. I haven't seen the movie in a long time. It's been a while since I saw it, but I remember, I obviously remember most of it, and I definitely was a fan of it. It did terrify me as a kid, definitely. Did you do your own stunts?
I think it still might, baby.
Do you do your own stunts filming it?
I did almost everything, yeah.
Awesome.
Except the big attack scene in the car.
Yep.
I had begged Dan Blatt to let me do it, and he said okay. And then the morning of, he said, "Dee, it's just too risky.
Yeah.
If you get hurt, then the production goes down." And so that whole attack is me and the stunt dog
Right.
edited with the stunt woman and the real dog.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
really
they had.
good editing,
So they had
I
two.
gotta say.
Definitely. So they had 2 dogs then on set.
Oh, honey, we had 13 dogs.
Oh wow. I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah, because you couldn't overwork the dogs, and they all needed to be trained to go after different toys for different tricks.
That is true.
The actress, however, could be overworked.
Of course, right?
Yep, always.
Did they train any of the dogs on set, or was it all an offset training?
Oh, no, baby. They were trained within an inch of their life. Carl Miller was the trainer, and they were... I mean, he even slept in the barn with him. That's how loyal he was. And they were brilliantly handled by Carl and his fellow handlers. Nice.
So, let me see, where am I at? So, when you keep attacking Cujo and everything, like, was that the stunt, that was all the stunt dog, right? And, like, how were, like...
Well, they were all interchangeable. There wasn't like one main dog.
Okay.
Again, they were all trained to go after different toys to perform different tricks.
Okay.
So one of them was taught to jump up on the car and dig into the car.
I got it. Yeah.
Another one was attacked to stand and growl and get ready for an attack.
Right.
One dog, only one dog, could they train to go through the window at the end.
Okay.
So, and they had to rotate them and rest them. They were taken incredibly good care of.
That's amazing, though. That's amazing, and it's great that that there are animals that are able to do that. But the best part is that you have a trainer like that was on set that actually took care of the animals and made sure they were rotated and slept with them in the in the barn and all that. Make sure that they were.
Oh yeah, everybody on that set were schooled about how to respect and take care of the dogs.
Awesome. So what was your most memorable moment while filming Cujo?
Oh, dear God. The entire film.
It was a really good film.
One of my favorite scenes is when Danny is losing it and he's screaming and I grab him and I say, all right, I'll get you your father.
Yep.
And Dan came up to me the next day and said, Dee, I want you to look at this the dailies, because it's such a powerful scene, but we think maybe we should cut it. We're afraid maybe the public will not like you. And I watched it and I said to him, Dan, you're crazy if you take this out.
Yeah.
There isn't a parent in the world who hasn't felt that frustration with their kid.
Yep.
And when the movie came out, what's one of the scenes that every critic commented on positively was that scene.
Nice. Yep. Exactly. So that's all of the Cujo questions. I do have 2 ending questions that are outside of those films. I think I know one of the answers to the first one, because the first one's a multiple type question, but obviously you have an impressive resume. My dad, he's like, oh, I know Dee Wallace. That is so awesome that you're going to be interviewing her, because he is a big fan of yours. He loved you in E.T. He actually made.
You tell Daddy hi.
Well, my dad actually, he's battling brain cancer, and about 2.5 years ago, he had emergency brain surgery, and then he had a stroke 2 days after, and he was told he wasn't going to survive, but he miraculously did. Well, the day before the stroke, but it was the day after surgery, but the day before the stroke, those little things or whatever that they put on your finger, and it's like it blinks, like it's like red. Well, my dad lifted it up. He goes, E.T. phone home. So I had to tell you that. But so yeah, you have an impressive resume. So obviously you said that your most favorite film is Cujo. I'm assuming that would be your answer to that one.
Yep.
So what was the most fun film that you've have done, or was that also Cujo?
Oh no, I think the most fun had to be The Howling.
Really? I agree.
I was engaged to Christopher, And, working with Joe Dante and, Chris and I were just having a big love adventure together, and
right.
everybody on that set, it was like, let's put on a show,
Right.
We did it for like next to nothing, and just loved all the people I worked with, and
that's great.
It would definitely have to be The Howling.
Awesome.
Had a lot of fun on 10 too.
Awesome. And the last question I got for you, I also like have a little production company I'm starting up called Gravestone Films. So I do know that. So I know that there are some NDA agreements that aren't allowed. So if you're not allowed to contractually say anything, that's fine. But do you have any future projects you want to let the listeners know about?
So many. Well, there's one that I'm thinking will be announced very soon. There's been a lot of stuff over the internet about it. Okay. I still can't announce it.
That's fine.
But I think my fans will be really pleasantly surprised.
Awesome.
And I just finished a lovely little family film called It's a Fixer-Upper.
Okay.
And I'm going into a wonderful, it's kind of a combination sci-fi and horror called Await the Dawn, and I start that the 1st of April.
Awesome, that's great. So, if any more products, whenever they're released, whenever you get any more jobs or whatever, everybody can go to IMDb, obviously, to Dee Wallace's page and see that. Do you have any social media you want to plug, websites or anything?
Oh, my website is iamdeewallace.com. Most of that, I do a lot of healing work and teaching people how to create their lives and get money into their lives and feel better in their health. So I would go to my website and check that out. You'll find that all pretty fascinating. And I'm all over social media, guys. Just put in Dee Wallace, you'll find me.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and it's been an honor talking to a legend like yourself.
You too, Scotty, and give your daddy my love.
I definitely will.
And tell him not to accept anybody else's limitations. Definitely. To let the universe know exactly what he wants.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Dee.
Okay.
All right.
You bet.
Bye.
Bye-bye.